Now, if that's by accident or an act of God or whatever it is, the fact is that there hasn't been, and if there had been, then President Bush would be getting the responsibility for it, so it might be nice if we gave him a little credit. And some of those people that are working very hard to secure our nation. Yeah, I'm disappointed in the huge sprawling democracy of Department of Homeland Security, and since we acted in some haste in reacting to 9/11, we should be having hearings and long ago, probably a year or so ago, to get some grades and judgments about the Department of Homeland Security. Let me tell you one aspect specifically about it, and that's FEMA. As you know, FEMA is now in the Department of Homeland Security. I have no confidence today that we would react any better if there were a national disaster than we did after Hurricane Katrina. I have seen no evidence, and I think it's really important that we understand that we ought to bring in business into the business of disaster relief. You know, FedEx and UPS can tell you where any package is at any moment, at any time in the world that they service. And yet, after Katrina, we ended up with trucks full of ice in Maine. So why don't we enlist, on a competitive basis, UPS, FedEx, Walmart, Home Depot, and other smaller companies and corporations that have the distribution systems, that know how to get goods and products into these areas, and say, okay, I know, for example, UPS and FedEx would dedicate 100 airplanes to bring in the supplies and relief that's necessary. Why rely on federal bureaucracies that don't have a clue how to distribute these kinds of things? So that's one of the areas that I would look at is in the Homeland Security, and I would look at it quickly. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Senator McCain, Doug Youngdahl with Food Island Growers. Some of us in agriculture certainly want to see secure borders to our south. At the same time, we want to have the labor come and help us on our farms. What do you feel about the Ag Jobs Bill? Is it still possible that can resurface and gain momentum?
I'm for the Ag Jobs Bill. I know, and you know, some of our producers in Yuma that will be producing a lot of the fresh vegetables that feed America this coming winter are deeply concerned about their ability to harvest those crops. I know about your concern about your ability to do so. I'd like to tell you we'll pass the Ag Jobs Bill, but whenever you bring up the Ag Jobs Bill and somebody says, okay, we got to put the DREAM Act on it, and now we've got to do this, and now we've got to do that, and it just falls of its own weight. And because it was such a bitter and divisive debate in the Congress and in the country, of course we politicians who seek approval, first of all, shy away from it. I'd like to tell you that we are going to, but I'm not sure. I am not sure that we will do that before the year 2009. I pray every night that we could address this issue. And let me just quickly add, what's our proposal? Our proposal is that Blue Diamond enters into a contract with a worker after advertising that job and no American is taking it. That person gets a tamper-proof biometric document. He or she comes and works, and their name and their data is entered into an electronic employer verification system, and that person works. And at the completion of that work, they go back to the country that they came from. Now, if they want to be a citizen of the United States, they apply for a green card in the normal naturalization process. But in the meantime, we know that that employee is here legally to do a job and then go back to the country that they came from. Now, we have the technology today to develop tamper-proof biometric documents, and we have the technological ability to have an electronic employee verification system. So it's not a matter of us not being able to do it, it's a matter of national will. And sir, I wish you luck in the coming period of time to be able to have the source of employee that's necessary to keep your business going, which obviously has been fairly successful over the years. I wish you luck, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
And I can assure you that I think such a system, when explained to the American people, would be accepted by most Americans. Any more? Yes, Russ.
The situation with the Maliki government in Iraq, are they going to make progress? Is it possible for them to bridge the political divide in Iraq?
The Maliki government has not been functioning effectively, as we know, to say the least. That's an understatement. My friend Lindsey Graham and I were over there 4th of July. He was just over there, not as a senator, but he's a reserve colonel in the JAG Corps, the United States Air Force. And he tells me that there's a very strong possibility, I emphasize possibility, that we could see a de-Baathification law and elections in the provinces. I would remind you that the Sunni boycotted the last elections. And now the Sunni, because of the change in Anbar province, etc., they want elections and they want their representatives. I keep hoping and praying every night that the Maliki government will understand how important it is that they act. The good news is there's tremendous political development on the local level. There is functioning city councils and mayors in cooperation, etc. And also, history tells us that if you can obtain the security that this military success is obtaining, then that motivates the political process to move forward as well. I hope that we can see that progress and we are understanding of how critical that has become. It is interesting that 6 months ago when we had the debate on the floor with the Democrats, the military thing has failed, it can't succeed, it's over, da-da-da-da-da. Now they're saying, oh yeah, the military thing has succeeded, but the political side hasn't. Well, you've got to have the military side succeed first, my friends. Ask any expert on counterinsurgency warfare, and that's what this is a counterinsurgency. Is there any more?